Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make are, well, cupcakes. But we're going to make what I like to call Texas sheet cake cupcakes. It is a great chocolate cake that is very moist. And instead of making, the traditional sheet cake that everyone does a lot and enjoy, I wanted to make Texas sheet cake cupcakes. So let's get started. First, what I want to do is I want to give you all the ingredients up front so that if you want to jot them down or whatever, you can. Okay, so in starting with that, we're going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and that's what I have in this bowl here. Okay, I'm also going to be transferring it to a larger bowl, and I know some people write and say, oh, why are you wasting time and dirtying all those bowls? I want it to be specific so that you can really see that there's no confusion of what I'm doing, so that I'm thoroughly explaining it, carefully and slowly enough also. Because if you are jotting it down, you don't want someone to be talking so fast that, you miss it. So there's 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and that bears repeating in case you missed it. And I'm going to just put it in the larger bowl, as why I mentioned. And we're also going to be putting in 2 cups of granulated sugar to that flour. And that was 2 cups. All right. And I'm just using my little small whisk here. Perhaps I should have grabbed the larger one, but I didn't. The next thing we're going to be putting in is 4 tablespoons of baking cocoa. Now, remember, this is not, the packages that you open up to make hot chocolate with. It's unsweetened baking cocoa, and that was 4 tablespoons. And again, just stir or whisk it or whatever, just to get it combined. All right. All right. The next thing we're going to be putting in is 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Along that 1 teaspoon of baking soda, we're going to put a 1/4 cup of salt. All right. Now, once we got that all together, and it's pretty well mixed, I think, and combined, I'm just going to set it aside for the moment, okay? All right. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to need butter or margarine. This recipe is very, I don't know the term to use, not forgiving, but it really tastes good. It tastes good whether you use margarine or butter. So it's really up to you what you have in your, in your refrigerator or, whatever that you prefer. So, go ahead and use, and by the way, too, I particularly am using 1 cup of salted butter. I am using salted. Now, if you don't want to use salted butter, go ahead and of course don't use salted butter. But I prefer the butter over the margarine, but it's individual taste, that's all. So 1 cup of butter, what I did was I put in this bowl, and I actually melted it in my microwave, because it's a lot faster, I think, than putting it in a saucepan, but you can if you want. So that's what I have right here, 1 cup of melted salted butter. I want to make that kind of clear. Okay, all right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to need boiling water. And also, I heated my microwave, so I'm going to step out of screen here for a second and get that, because we need 1 cup of water that's been boiled. And I go ahead, and what I do with mine is I actually just do that also in my microwave, because I think it's, well, I think it's easier. I really do. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do also now is to put in some buttermilk. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, go ahead and use your vitamin D regular whole milk if you have it. But if you have buttermilk, even better. Okay, and that's going to be a half a cup of that. Okay, so we're going to put the half a cup of buttermilk into, let me get that all out of there, into the butter. And it's kind of good because it cools that butter down just a little bit. And now we're going to just put our cup of water, of boiling water, in there. Okay? Now, with the combined milk and the hot water, it kind of equals out a little bit, so it's not too hot. It really isn't. It's kind of lukewarm at this point. And we're going to add 2 beaten eggs, okay? And if you have large, that would be the best, okay? And I'm going to put that in there. And it's not, again, hot enough that we're going to have scrambled eggs, okay? So now we have wet and we have dry. So what I'm going to do next, of course, is just add the wet to the dry, okay? And I'm going to put it all in on one step. And then just take and stir. Now you can use your hand mixer if you prefer. If you don't want to do it by hand, feel free. Or a lot of times, if I think it looks a little lumpy, I'll turn it on. So, I'm going to take the excess off my spatula there, if I can. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is get your cupcake pan ready. I like to use this large one because I'll be honest with you, I get, let me see, I gotta remind myself, I get 34 cupcakes. So you know, it's easier than having all these trays, individual trays. Yet I have the 12 cupcake trays. I have several of them. But when I'm making a large batch like this, I really like using this large 24. Okay? And just put your liners in, whatever kind of liner that you want, that kind of thing. I am going to just turn on my hand mixer just a little bit because I'm not real happy that the batter looks as silky as it should be. So I'm just going to use my hand mixer here. Okay. And as you see, that only took, what, a couple seconds to do that. All right. Now, the scoop that I like to use, you don't have to use a scoop, of course. It's not the full one, you know, it's not that. And then what I do is I just fill this up. And I would say they're being filled about halfway up, because you want them to be able to have room to expand. And I'm not going to bore you with filling liners because don't think we need to see all these filled. But like I said, they're about halfway with the scoop that I'm using, okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to bake these at 350 degrees, and they could take you anywhere from 8 to 12 to maybe even 15 minutes, because you know our ovens, it bears repeating. They set up so differently, so you know exactly how your oven is. So I like, you know, like I said, I like to check them. I also rotate them. I only bake this 124-1. In fact, you know, I have two of these, but I only do one at a time for this recipe. So I about halfway through, then I switch it to the top rack, that kind of thing. And then just test it with a toothpick or a cake tester to see if it's done. Okay, I'm going to rinse my hands quickly here, and I'm going to show you what one looks like when it's baked up. Has a beautiful brown color on it. Once I peel this away, I'm just going to break it in half to show you how moist and chewy this is. The crumb on it is very delicate. It'll just melt in your mouth. Now, I want to show you the finished product. And I went ahead and I iced them. I will be having a separate video to show you the chocolate icing. And so you can see them when they look like it's just iced alone with chocolate fudge. And then you can put your colored jimmies or your decorations or however that you want to, okay? So there you have it. We've got, I got 34 of the Texas sheet cake cupcakes out of this recipe. It is a good one. Please give it a try. If you do, leave a comment or write to me that you tried it and you liked it, and I'll answer in a timely fashion. So thank you so much for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. Oh, and if you'd like to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, or give me a like. Well, thanks again. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.